to this week's episode of Diesel and the Beard.
Welcome back, KFFL and new audience, to Diesel and the Beard, episode 6, featuring yours truly, the Commissioner, a.k.a. the Bearded Bean Counter, and my trusty colleague, Dorian R. Hartley, Esquire.
Esquire. Or Diesel, or The Wiz. Speaking of Wiz, I was, we'll get to that later. I saw in the show notes a little
No, you know what? Let's do it now, Dorian. Let's just get it out of the way.
How the fuck do you have me at 1-1 last week? I gave you a fucking list of games I liked, and they were all hitting. I think Tennessee might be depending on when you got the spread.
But you know what? What we were really doing was wanting to focus on the because what I do, Dorian, is
Thursday night.
Not necessarily, but I'll ask you what you really like. So, we did hone in on 2 picks. So the 2 picks were the Minshew anytime and
which was like
Finn's money line
value. Yeah, Finn's money line was the bet. And it was like, sprinkle Minshew at 8-1 is good because he gets outside the pocket.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, you got yourself at 100% and me at 50-50.
But the audience needs to know, Dorian. The audience deserves to know, Dorian. You are the Wiz. I fly under your wings when it comes to sports betting. I mean, the Gesicki was good, but he that was almost a no-brainer. I will say, Dorian, I'm just going to pump my own tires on one bet I made this week that was fucking awesome. And so I took a Mercedes Lewis anytime.
Saw that.
And it was
Powell had it too.
I know he did.
Powell gambled. Now he's on fucking Bet365 using the non-decimal odds. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I know he's using 365 because he's watched me, but yeah. Let's get those odds changed over to decimal just so it's easier to read. So I'm not trying to do math. Like, okay, he's got a parlay. One's negative 660, one's plus 340, the other's minus 180. I'm trying to figure out the odds in my head.
I know. I was the same, man. I'm like, what? Is this good? Is this bad?
Yeah.
But I will say, now that we've got some fans and some followers, I think that we should be getting some of these guys on. I mean, if Powell's going to make some bets, I mean, I think some interactivity in the future might be worth a shot.
Silva's also another guy I'd like to have on. So what we should do actually is probably go through and we can do one of a few things. We can have a different person on each week for like a 10-minute segment where they can talk about how they think the league's going. Or we could take an entire show and just go like 10-minute segment, 10-minute segment, 10-minute segment, 10-minute, and just kind of get everyone to weigh in.
I like both of them. I think we should do a featured episode where each owner gets to speak their mind.
Yeah.
Whatever grinds their gears or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
But some of those ideas of some splash pop-up appearances, especially when it gets down to the bubble and the playoffs are really, really, showing their face.
We're kind of rolling in now. The first 3 weeks are done. That's always a feeling out period. The COVID stuff starting to spike a little bit. The cancellation of the Tennessee-Pittsburgh.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
So we're going to kind of start seeing the league roll in a direction that it's, the path of least resistance. It's going to go where it goes. So I think from this week on, it'd be cool to kind of hear owners talking about everything: injuries, the league itself, the KFFL itself, and fantasy just in general. So, all right, let's move along here. Just a quick little note that our episodes, other people are watching this. People outside of the KFFL are watching this. From a statistic or an analytical standpoint, our views drop off when we're running longer than an hour. So our shows should be around about an hour 10 max. So if we feel like we're rushing through anything, we're just trying to get to everything because we got a full docket.
Yep. So, we have a full day.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the week 3 recap. We're going to grade the grabs. We've got a couple fan questions. I want to look at the 0-3s, 3-0s. We're obviously going to feature you, Dorian, the Wiz, with Bet365 advice. I'd like to do some week 4 breakdown previews with you, and then we'll close with the review of the trades. Does that sound good?
All right. Like it.
All right.
So week 3 recap, first on the docket. Where's it at?
You know what? I wanted to just congratulate Cody Wilson. He obviously is 3-0. He's undefeated, and he looks like he's the team to beat currently. Yep. So he beat the 2019 finalist Reynolds by 68 points to remain undefeated.
Wow, good job, Cody. I'll give you a clap for that. You know what? I think it's time. It's little bro syndrome, kind of for both of us, whereas we hate pumping Cody's tires because, if you look at his team from a paper standpoint, it's kind of whatever. It's meh, but all his guys...
It seems unsustainable, but I mean...
It does seem unsustainable, but it's proving not to be in the first 3 weeks, so it's kind of like, I hate the Chiefs, and I didn't think they were as good as they are. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, how do you bet against these fucking guys? And then people were asking me all week about the Monday night game. Who do you like? Who do you like? And I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be a tighter game than it actually was. But I said, how do you not bet the Chiefs? And you're getting 3.5 points.
3.5.
They haven't lost since fucking November or something of last year. They're on a 14 or 15 game win streak.
Yeah,
you're getting points with them, and it's not really an away game. There's no fans, so Patty Mahomes plus 3.5. So I told that to everyone that asked me, and it turns out to be true. I kind of feel like Cody's in that boat now. It's like, you don't want to like his team, and is Josh Allen really the top-rated QB in the league in terms of?
Let me ask you,
production is that going to be sustainable right now?
Let me ask you.
Yeah,
would you trade right now? Would you trade Pat Mahomes for Josh Allen?
I would.
If you owned Pat Mahomes.
No, I take Mahomes all day.
And so there's reasons for that. And I think the biggest reason is the sample size. Josh Allen has shown us 3 games against 2 soft defenses and 1 tough one.
Right.
That he's the man. And he's played incredible. Mahomes has done it forever. And so I guess I just throw that out there because it's like,
I can't believe Mahomes hasn't dropped off. I mean, I'm going to eat my words because I was all like, he can't maintain this fucking gun-slinging down
the efficiency. Yeah.
He is a purebred beast. Number 1 quarterback in the game, in my opinion, by any standard. He's a fucking gamer. He's gotten paid and he hasn't fell off. His team's gotten worse around him and he hasn't fell off.
I'd love to know what his floor is.
Yeah, 20, probably 25.
I mean, but I mean, Josh Allen, let's get to it. Josh Allen
it is
was
what
in
it is.
that trade.
He's 3-0. Cody's 3-0, and he needs respect. He's going to be a top contender now until he's not. Until he loses some games, then we can go back to talking shit and be like, you know what? We said this was coming. It wasn't sustainable. But I said that after week 1. I said that after week 2. I'm not going to say it after week 3 because it starts looking stupid. So
it does.
Props.
Well done, bud.
And we'll see where it goes from here. Craig fails to break 100 points against Powell, which is not the strongest of teams. The battle of the 0-3s, or was it 0-2s last week?
Yeah, it was 0-2s, and the reason I wanted to, I felt that it was important to bring that up was just because of the team that Craig has. You know what? I'm not going to bury Craig here. I think that he's the best 0-3 team I've ever seen. He's got Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones, and so for any of you guys out there listening that own one or both. Aaron Jones is the type of guy that goes as the Packers offense goes. And so even when he puts up 14 points, he could put up 50. Right. But when he puts up 14, the rest, the Lazard King or whoever all else is going off is beasting. Mixon, I listened to one of the industry casts. He's been on the field for the highest percentage of snaps of any running back in the league. So I believe the number was 97% of the snaps, with Zeke being 93 and Derrick Henry being 92. So it's not even close. And so if I'm just talking about what am I looking for in a player I'm trying to acquire or maybe not trade, Mixon fits that bill. So I'm not ready to write Craig off.
I'm not writing him off. In fact, I would like to write him off because I'm trying to get a trade done. And Craig and Rosie are the only 2 real candidates at this point, and Rosie still thinks he's competitive. And Craig's there. He's not he's open to offers. He's not getting back to my texts very quickly. I've sent him a couple big boy deals, but hey, we'll see where it goes from there. And every time we say something like this on the podcast, something seems to happen. So now that people know I've made an offer to Craig, it's going to be more enticing to see what does Dorian want. They're going to go try and pay more than I was offering in the first place. And so, Craig, you should have some offers coming your way tonight.
I can't wait for the fireworks.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be good.
And then I'll jump over to this so it doesn't seem so biased. But when I checked my my phone Monday morning, right? Obviously, I'm checking. I knew that my match was going to roll over, but I'm checking my bets. If I go to bed early, I sometimes don't see it. But then I switch over to the schedule, and Dorian, let's just. What I want to do is look at your week 3 because it was a massive upset. Loudon is one of the teams to beat, even though he's 1-2. He's a powerhouse.
Sorry, Loudon. I got Loudon here. He's dead in my kitchen. So,
what?
Old scarecrow face.
Well, I'm just looking at the chart. So at 11:35 Sunday, it was close. You guys were real close, but he was winning. And then Monday night you took over, Dorian. So it was definitely a comeback win. You rode Rogers, and you had a brilliant start of Alan Lazard. The Tyler Lockett trade. I mean, I have a note later when we review the trades. I'm going to just give you a little bit of a clap, but I mean, that guy looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, he's looking very good. I think I pulled the trigger on that deal at the right time.
Oh, man.
Just fortunate that Jake was heavy at the position, and I needed a guy, and Jake's a Detroit fan, and
it worked out.
Galladay was hurt when I sent him Jones, and I still think Jones has some big weeks in him, but Lockett.
Oh, sure. Once Galladay gets his feet under him and starts demanding some attention, you'll see Jones pop. But, I mean,
a lot of people thought that Lockett being there was going to really help Metcalf, and I think it's almost been reversed. I think Metcalf is just taking the top off the defense, and Lockett is just working in all kinds of soft zones.
Anywhere else. Underneath, second level, mid-level.
You know what? If it wasn't for Mahomes, who's just been consistent and coming off of Russ is the guy. Like, Russ is amazing. I would take Russ on my team any day, in real life or in fantasy. That guy, gamer, he fucking always competes. He
doesn't have an MVP yet.
It's disgusting.
He's getting it this year, I bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a run, but anyways, sorry, Loudon. It was a nice, good matchup. I lucked out with the old Rogers Lazard stack, and hey, hopefully no one's sleeping on Rogers anymore either, because I've been hearing all year. He's just creeping into the top 5 of most people's rankings in terms of QB. But anyways,
pathetic.
Moving on.
Let's grade the grabs, shall we?
Sure. What do we got? 10 of them this week?
Yeah, we've got 10. What we did, boys, is we listed them all, and we might not talk about them, for very long. But I feel like everyone deserves to have their moves, analyzed by Diesel and the Beard. So,
sure.
The first one was Craig using the 1-1 waiver on the corpse of Jimmy Graham.
Sure, I like Jimmy Graham in years past. I've gambled with him in other leagues, and I like Jimmy Graham when he played for the Saints. And then I kept thinking he was going to keep competing at that level. He's been bouncing around. I think he was Green Bay, Seattle, all these other teams. And he just never seems to do it for me. So, yeah, he had a a week.
He had 2 scores. I mean, if you're going to chase touchdowns.
No, I don't know. It is what it is. He could be a solid backup tight end play, really. Like, I see him at 4 to 6 points a week kind of guy, but. So,
the question isn't Jimmy on his own in a vacuum, because if we put him at the bottom of the list, if he was grabbed 10th, you would be like, yeah, whatever. He was the priority grab.
Yeah, I don't like that part of it.
I'm giving it an F.
You're giving F. I'm going to say D+. Adam grabs T. Higgins with the second.
I had T lined up.
Did you?
Oh, man.
Too many mouths to feed.
John Ross, former first-round pick, healthy scratch. T steps in, 2 scores. He's a fucking beast, man. Joe Burrow is the man.
He is the man, and we're going to speak about that later. But
I like this grab.
He's getting priority targets.
Green is dust. You
like it, eh? Okay. I'm like a C on it. You're going what, A? B?
No. I'll go a solid B plus though.
Okay, I'm C. Not bad.
Yep.
Owl grabs Mo Ali Cox. I love Mo Ali Cox.
I think they call him Gigantor on the footballers.
Yeah, he's a baller. I like
Jack Doyle was healthy, and so the question was, when Jack Doyle was out, Mo Ali went beast, but when he was back last week, it was like, what's going to happen? Jack Doyle was an afterthought.
Yeah.
So I like it.
A tight ends for me, same with Jimmy. It's like they're not that exciting. It's like you got the big three or you don't. Fuck off.
There's no scarcity, man. There's no scarcity. I mean,
I've got the 9th rated tight end. It's like, who gives a
Well, do you know what it takes to become a top 10 tight end? I mean, you need like 400 receiving yards and a few touchdowns. I mean, it's not hard, right? So
whatever. It is what it is. I do like them as an athlete, and Colts seem to be firing in all gears. So sure,
Rivers is going to find him. You know, Rivers is the type of quarterback that likes to find that big target up the middle. You know,
B minus.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a B minus. We're consensus on that.
JV grabs Los Angeles Rams.
I don't care about that.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
No one cares, JV. Dorian grabs Rex Burkhead with 1.5.
I think that you had to do that. I think that he was probably the priority there. The problem for me is Damian Harrison's coming back, and so is James White. So
I'm actually breaking a few rules with picking him up. One is two is no players for the fucking Bill Belichick's offense ever.
Yep.
And it doesn't need to be Patriots. It could be anyone. I don't want anyone because it's like he'll game plan around one guy for an entire week and then forget about him for 2 weeks and game plan him around him again.
Yeah.
But he just seemed to be oozing with value there. And I was like, he doesn't see my lineup very much. But if he starts beasting out or injuries happen, he seems – I mean, he dropped a 25 burger on my boys. So
it was nice, man. I mean, I give that a solid B. A solid B.
Sweet. I'll take a B. I'm not going to rank it because whatever. Chad grabs Jeff Wilson with the –
Loved it. I loved it. Honestly, Jerick McKinnon was hurt. Jeff Wilson should have been the number one grab. If you ask me, I'm going to give that an A+.
Chad is always just getting these guys late. It's like everyone forgets about him. And then, anyway, Chad as usual. I'll go B+ because
solid.
The verdict needs to come out yet.
Yep.
You grabbed Greg Ward with the 1.7. What's your thought process behind that?
11 targets. I mean, there's a lot of injuries in Philly, and that was one of those things that I looked at and said, I'm not chasing points. I have to chase opportunity. And so exactly. And so with Edelman battling a knee injury, Deshaun obviously was dropped for him, and Will Fuller has been up and down. I thought, you know what? If nothing else, this guy is going to be a solid WR3 that gives me 8 to 12 targets.
I have just given up on that Houston squad. So
he's Philly, actually. He's Philly.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you mean sorry.
Yep.
I'm jumping ahead of the notes. Philly. Alshon Jeffrey's coming back soon. That could be good for me.
And Deshaun's there. I mean, this is one of those things, Dorian, where it's kind of like your Rex Burkhead. It's like the guy was given an opportunity. He did decently with it. And so he's already shown he can do it, but there's no guarantee it'll happen again.
All right. Well, I like targets. I don't know a lot about Jeff Wilson. I'll be honest with you. Haven't looked at him much, but I like targets.
Greg Ward.
Sorry. Yeah, Greg Ward. Fuck. I'm all over the place here.
It's all good.
Yep. I don't know much about him, so I can't rate it, but I'll say if you like it, I'll trust you. That's honesty. I don't want to just talk bullshit here.
No.
Sylvan Nielsen, Dallas, DST.
I don't care.
1 week play, whatever.
Yep.
Craig grabs Ryan Fitzmagic. I mean, I love it. I gotta play.
I
can go out and be lights out. Like I do like Fitz's gaming ability. Like he's a gamer.
Fitz is the number 4 quarterback since week 4 last year. In terms of fantasy points, he is capable of those huge games. I mean, he was like the number 1 quarterback in fantasy last year for a chunk of time.
Yeah, no, he's because he's on shitty teams. They're always down. He's always throwing in the 4th and just getting garbage time. And he's a capable quarterback too. So
who's Craig dealing with? Like, I'm just pause here for one quick moment. I mean, he's got Ryan Tannehill.
Did he not?
Excuse me. Yeah. And then he's got.
I thought he dropped someone.
He did. I think he had Wentz.
He dropped Tannehill.
Oh, he's dropped Tannehill.
Yeah. He's dropped Tannehill, and he's plugging and playing in Ryan Fitzy-Mitzy.
So what we see now is he's prioritizing the streaming. And so for all you fans out there, all you newcomers, anyone that's playing fantasy and wondering what this move would entail, well, if you don't have one of the studs, then you're actually just going to play matchups. And so Ryan Fitz is one of those guys. I mean, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. He just put the team on his back, and he's capable of doing that. And so those
They're also playing Seattle. So Seattle will be winning.
Yep, exactly. Game script will be positive.
Their defense isn't that good, so it's not
especially on the line. No, exactly. What I was getting at there, Diesel, is that if you play for the upside, right, then you still have a chance to win. If you go and get yourself a P-Riv, who's he looks like he's throwing a shot put when he throws it 15 yards downfield. There's just no upside there unless he scores 4 touchdowns. So. But anyways, I give that a C. I really don't care about it. I mean, it is what it is, I'm
going to say it's a B- for me because I think it's a good game script for him, and I think Fitz could go off. If they're down by 21 and he's throwing for fucking 4 quarters straight.
That's what I'm saying.
He might compete with Rodgers in a Monday night game versus the Dirty Birds, who just been in 100-point games all year, 15.
Yep.
50, so
I'm with you, man. I don't think it's a terrible pick at all. Chad grabbed Renfro. I think that's great. He's obviously a Raiders fan, but there was a lot of chatter. Oh man, he's like a.
I had him for an anytime last week. Yeah, and then
did he put one in?
He did. Yeah. So
there's the whiz. There's the whiz right there.
That's a beat up receiving core. Ruggs is already hurt. Brian Edwards was dealing with injury. You can't throw the ball to Waller every play, and Renfro's his second year in the offense, and he's smart. He's Element light. Great call.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give that a B+ before we move on. I'll give that a B+.
I'm gonna say that's a solid B+ for me. B+.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck, maybe an A-. Chad, fuck it. Raider Nation. A-.
Knock if you're with me.
Yeah.
There he goes.
He's
fired up.
Oh yeah.
He's fired up.
Feeling better finally. Okay. Fan questions.
This is from Cody Powell. You know who you are and where you are.
Cody Fuckface Powell questioning my authority.
Let's hear it.
Read the question.
Well, Powell and we have good conversations. Obviously, I've known him a long time. We worked at the Brisley Brick together a long time ago, and we've maintained a great friendship. So he reached out and he said, we still doing the fan questions? And I said, absolutely. So he goes, well, why don't you ask Dorian if he's changed his mind at all on Joe Burrow, who Dorian owns, being a bust, as he states that Diesel posted this on draft day. Burrow's a bust, ! I'll be reposting this in 3 years, close quotation.
Mm-hmm. Now,
so,
Powell, you're dealing with an ex-champion here. Now,
he doesn't like it.
What seems more likely? The Wiz went out on a limb and picked a guy that's not going to be good, or I'm just playing with all your heads and I tell everyone he's a bust, but then draft the guy.
Ooh.
If that's sinking for him.
There it is.
The real truth is...
He went kayfabe on that one.
The real truth is you don't know if a guy's a bust till year 2. And...
At least.
He's been playing fucking awesome. I'm going to be honest. I really liked him. I actually changed my mind on him after that post, closer towards draft day when I watched some of his training camp videos, watching him throw, watching him march, and watching him with the offense. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, everyone's loving this guy, but everyone liked a lot of guys. Everyone liked fucking Mayfield. Everyone liked Johnny Manziel. Everyone liked RG3. What's going to be the real determining factor for him is year 2. Once there's tape on him and people can start systematically picking apart what his natural tendencies are. Does he look left first? Does he look right first? And defenses figure that shit out. That's when guys go down in year 2. So do I think he's a bust still? No, I think Burrows is actually going to be very good. But I don't think we know if he's a bust or not yet because we won't know until next year. That's right. But yeah, I was a little early on that one because I've seen LSU quarterbacks before with fucking stacked offenses.
Mm-hmm. Jamarcus Russell.
Not translate to the NFL well. It's
Jamarcus Russell. He's the biggest bust in the history. He was from LSU.
And maybe that's a little bit sour for me still, right? So, no, I don't think he's a bust. However, he could be on the block. So if anyone's interested in getting a franchise QB, Craig, Powell, Rosie, You guys know
Wow.
where I'm at, and I'm willing to deal. So,
I'll be honest, Dorian. I almost sent you a trade offer involving picks and players for him, but then I thought, you know what? That's just being greedy.
yeah. Hey, you know what, man? I'm gonna have to say this on national television or national YouTube vision. What's going on with Jamarcus? Or sorry, not Jamarcus.
You gonna just label him a bust now?
Wow, Lamar Jackson.
I think it's just too early, man. I think they're built to play from the lead.
He looks like they got some tape on him, and
he doesn't know how to play. He doesn't know how to play from behind. I mean, they weren't losing since week 4 or 5 last year. So I think you need to learn how to play from behind. And you know, one thing I do promise you,
but he's got to get them ahead.
Pretty good for a running back, eh?
Hey, I mean, were you early with the Rodgers move? Because now you got a QB who you're seeing his floor a little more often than you'd like to, and we haven't quite seen those ceiling weeks yet. So
it's true. It's true. We all can't play.
I was looking at who Burrows was outplaying, and one of the names on that list that was popping for me was
Lamar
L-Jax.
Yeah.
So cheat code deactivated.
One of the I will say, Dorian, one of the nuances that has developed for myself with winning 3 championships in this great league is the level of patience I've developed.
I like the plot.
You know, I mean, you know, if I were to overreact every time, I don't know how many rings I'd be shining.
He's still a 20-point guy in his bad week, so whatever. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Where you need him to be. The cream will rise or fall. What happens if he plays like this for the rest of the year? Do you ride him out another season, or do you fucking
no? In fact, when we get to my trade for Derrick Henry, we'll talk about what my keeper plans are. I'm fairly confident in my new plan, and I'll share that with you near the end of the episode. So
cool.
So I just want to say real quick, anyone else, guys, let's get those fan questions in. I mean, Dorian and I have a lot of combined experience in fantasy. So if you guys are looking for any start-sit decisions,
how many championships together? You've been to 3 and won 3?
Yeah.
I've been to 4 and won 1.
So that's seven between us of the 10 years. So
that's pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, there's things you learn that you just don't ever forget, both good and bad, and you know, those are things I'm happy to share with the audience. You know, let's all get championships. You know what? Yeah. Let's all get championships. Let's all get those rings, and you know what? The COVID Cup will be the sweetest cup.
That's true.
So, but yeah, let's get those fan questions in. We're happy to address anything you guys want to talk
questions. Kind of gets us on something we might not have discussed otherwise.
100%.
Okay. The 3-0s, Cody Wilson and Silva and Nielsen. We kind of already talked about Cody.
I just want to stay with the Silva and Nielsen. Silva and I talk almost every day, and so he's a great sport. But he did say, you know, now we feel a little slighted. Now there's been a little shade thrown on us on air, and so you know, did he make you eat your words?
Yeah, he did. He's you know what? To make it interesting, sometimes you got to make bold predictions.
Absolutely. And
I just look at Silva's team, and he's got a couple just marquee pieces that are just keeping that team flying. And if they don't die off, it doesn't really matter how the rest of his team does. So, yeah, I mean, they're serious this year. I think they're a contender, and I know Silva's been in my ear about trades, so I know he's been in a lot of ears about trades.
Silva, welcome back to the league. We're really happy to have you, man. Honestly, you and Nielsen together.
Fucking managing his own team. I haven't heard a peep from Nielsen, and Silva's on my phone every day like, hey, I got 3 other deals in the works, but in case all those fall through, you're my D offer. What do you want for ever? And I'm like, you're coming to me with like a fucking 4th plan for a player trade involving whoever.
Yeah,
so I'm not going to say the names because I don't want to give anyone more ammo in this league than they already need. But yeah, so like, I know that if he's got 3 trades in the work, and I know they're not bullshit because I talked to you and I talked to Cody and I talked to Jake and I talked to everyone a little bit. Silva's coming after this guy. Silva's coming after this guy. This player, this pick.
He's active, and we love it.
Yeah, the problem with me right now is I can't really afford. I want to get deals done because I like the thrill of a deal, but I can't afford to get rid of some of my top guys. I mean,
you got good stashes too, man. I mean,
my receivers. I need to get rid of receivers. I got Deebo Samuel and Elshon.
Let's hear a plug. Who do you want to move? Who are you plugging right now?
Honestly, I'm willing to move Odell Beckham. I'm possibly willing to move Julio. Definitely willing to move Judy, Alshon, Debo, because I just don't have enough room for all of them, and 2 of them are going to be coming off the IR. So someone has to move.
Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy,
Those
Alshon
3,
Jeffrey,
right?
Debo Samuel, like for depth. You know, Rex Burkhead can move. Malcolm Brown can move. I can move a Cam Akers. Joe Burrows is not untouchable.
My brother and you should be talking a trade, the Jerry Jeudy trade, because I think that could help him. I think he still has some picks left, which probably fall in the range of what you were looking for. I'm just trying to play fantasy matchmaker here, and I think that's a great opportunity there for one of you guys.
Bad. I will. Cody was calling me during this podcast, and I just told him I was podcasting, but I will get back to him with that because that could be a great little move for him. Judy is going to be an absolute beast. And we can talk more about him when we talk about the game tonight for the Wiz section. So
Sure. The next section there was just quickly touching on the 0-3s. I don't want them to feel forgotten. So that's Adam Rose and Craig. Rosie's the league rookie. I mean, to be honest, him and I, he's a colleague of mine, and we talk fantasy quite often. And so he's obviously lost Lev Bell and Michael Thomas, and so he's been dealing. But I will say, man, honestly, for a guy that's fresh in the league, he's handled himself well, and he's made some stellar waiver grabs. Mike Davis, T. Higgins. I mean, Nyheim Hines was probably the worst, and you know what? It is what it is. But
I liked Hines. I thought he would get a few more weeks than he did, but
so did I.
Rosie is not sinking the ship yet, and doesn't sound like Craig is either. This week should be a huge deciding factor because either guys go to 0-4 or if both go to 0-4, they no longer have the advantage of being the only seller. Because if they both go to 0-4, they really should be looking at selling, and everyone else still pretty much besides you has like all their picks and players. So if both of them decide to sell at the same time, they're going to get less value. If one of them decided to move now, I think they'd get more value.
The first one.
But the other thing is selling off doesn't mean you're not competitive anymore.
I know. We've talked about this.
Look what Powell just did. He gets rid of Christian McCaffrey, reloads the pond, and I'm pretty sure he's still got a good amount of picks left to go. He could go and make a fucking big move and still be ultra competitive. So let's not get stuck on these name brand guys, and let's figure out how to put points on your fucking roster. You know,
good move, Powell. It's a great move, bud. You turned it around early, bud. So
Rex Burkhead threw up 25 fucking points last week. What did McCaffrey do? He went to fucking
James Robinson.
Another 25 points. Yeah. So it's like you don't need to have these huge high name guys to put up points. You need good matchups, and guys are getting opportunities. So, anyways, moving on.
Let's do the Wiz. I'm really excited, Dorian. I haven't. I'm actually just pulling up Bet365 now. I'm hoping that you've done your normal staff wizard, raising it and whipping it around your head like a helicopter.
I have actually. I was looking into this game because what happens a lot of times is when these stinker games happen. Tonight's Denver versus Jets, Thursday night game in New York.
The Jets are a favorite.
Yeah, they are. They fuck up lines when these games happen. And sometimes these games are actually very good because both these guys are just battling. They're battling for jobs at this point. Coaches are battling for jobs and players are battling for jobs. So, I mean, I guess the fucking short and skinny of it is I love the Broncos plus points. I actually like the money line. And this kind of breaks down into 2 categories for me. One, the Broncos are 0-3, but they've played harder opponents. They lost to Tampa Bay, Tennessee, who's actually looked really good this year, and Pittsburgh, who looks like the revitalized 2012 Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, they're past.
So they've lost to 3 very good, and then the Bucs, Tom Brady, and a fucking stacked offense. So yeah, they've lost 3 games, but it's they're I don't want to say should lose games. The Tennessee game came down to a last minute field goal. And they were able to put points up against Pittsburgh, who's a great defense. Mm-hmm. The Jets, however, got fucking destroyed by
the Colts. Adam Gase, I know he takes a lot of flack from people, but I'm going to be honest. How is he still employed in the NFL?
I don't know.
His offense is. It's not like they're up and down. They're perennially the worst.
They got pounded by the Bills. They got pounded by the 49ers, who were ultra beat up. And then they got fucking smashed by the Colts. So, Looking at those 3 games, also is looking at stats, and here's some stats for you why you don't want to bet Jets.
Sure.
32nd total yards offense in the league.
Last.
Dead last. Passing yards, 31st in the league, second last.
Terrible.
Rushing yards, 28th, fifth last. Points, dead last at just over 12 points a game, 12.3. And their third down conversions.
I was just going to ask you. Okay.
So they're last across the board in all offensive categories, essentially. Like, they're really fucking bad. And their defense isn't much better. Their highest rated defensive ranking is 15th in passing yards. But no one's passing against them because they're up in the game and running the ball.
They're efficient.
So it doesn't
Exactly.
fucking matter. So
how is a team? I want to just say quickly, based on what you said there, Dorian. So drawing that information is key if you're going to be making some educated bets. But how does a team that is that poor in outcome not have a better passing attack? Because you're good. If you're not winning, you're not running. And I understand your rushing offense is going to be trash. But how do you then justify, if you're Adam Gase, how terrible you are with the supposed dynasty quarterback in Sam Darnold?
He's brutal, man. Watch it. Did he not throw? Was it 2 or 3 pick sixes he threw last week versus the Colts?
2. Does he still have mono?
I think he threw 3 picks, and 2 of them went to the house.
Yeah, 2 of them went to the house. Yeah.
Which means they're pretty bad fucking picks. If a defender had a line to the end zone when he picked the ball, it wasn't like it was a jump ball downfield. I saw them. They're absolutely trash. So
no, the guy drove on the ball because he saw Sam's eyes, and like, this is what, year 3 or 4 for him. You still got mono? No? See ya.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm on Denver, because the Jets are that fucking bad. And Denver, although they're bad, they're not as bad as the Jets. The real question tonight's going to be about this quarterback, Brett Rippon. Do you know much about him?
He's the son of the Washington Redskins' great Mark Rippon. So he's got the genetics. I mean, and I think that's something. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, man, I'm looking at – this is what I'm looking at. The implied point total for the Jets is 21.
Wow.
Because based on the over-under being 41.
Right.
They're not going to score that many. The only way I see this going the Jets' way is like a special teams return, or, just a complete meltdown by Rippon. But
I watched Rippon last week because he came into the game.
I did not know that.
He came into the game late, and he actually went 8 for 9 to march the team down the field after
really?
Who was it? I forget his name's slipping me now. The other Denver quarterback.
Jeff
Driscoll.
Driscoll.
So he was shit. He comes out of the game. Rippon goes into the game, goes 8 for 9 on the final drive, and I was watching a review on it. He had he had a deep ball to Jerry Jeudy. He was looking at Jerry Jeudy a lot, actually. And then he was throwing an end zone pass to Jerry Jeudy, and he actually held the safety with his eyes. And then I watched the guys break it down, and he threw the ball, and the fucking safety came out. He didn't hold him long enough. It was like another 2 seconds if he held it and switched and throw. He held him for a second and then started, and the safety broke on the ball and made a one-handed fucking amazing interception. But it's not really the guy's fault, and he hasn't seen that much action.
This is why you got to watch film. This is why you got to watch film.
Pocket technician. Those were
really?
Pocket technician, because I was like, all right, if
I'm writing this down.
I've already put $450 down on the Broncos money line because I like them that much.
Wow.
I actually hate the Jets that much, but this kid, Boise State quarterback, he was shredding it up for years, man. He set all the fucking high school records in Washington for a Washington quarterback for a high schooler. Goes to Boise State. And he's just not overly exceptional in any area, but he's very smart. Mm-hmm. And his arm strength's not great, but he's got precision and he can stand in the pocket. So that's where the game's going to come down to tonight. The Jets being shitty, and this Rippon kid, if he can fucking put a drive together like he was last week and run this offense. Mm-hmm. Not to mention they can lean on fucking Melvin Gordon a ton. I haven't checked the game time. Philip Lindsay might be back tonight.
No, he's not. It's leaning out.
No go? Okay.
No go. Yeah.
So anyways, Melvin Gordon, I think they lean heavy on the run. They're going to pound the ball, and I think this kid can make some underneath throws to a quick Judy underneath. So I love Broncos money line, or take the point if you want it. This line's also dropped. It was a 3.5 point line when the week started.
Okay, I did not know that either.
1. So which means sharp money is going
on the Jets. Denver. Or towards right.
Driving the line down.
They're trying to drive it down, yeah.
So that's my little tidbit for tonight's game.
Okay, so just to put a cap on that for our listeners, Dorian's his whiz pick of the week is Broncos money line, and that's going to pay on Bet365 1.95. Yeah. I love that, Dorian. I'm going to piggyback off that if you don't mind. I'm going to, like I said, my picks are based just solely on my quick decision. Where Dorian, the Diesel wizard here has a lot of experience, so he's more versed in everything sports betting. But I'm going to play off your pick there, and I'm going to go with the under 41 points. I literally could see this being a 21-3 game for the Broncos. I literally could see that happening.
Because the Broncos D is not bad. They're a top-rated D if fucking
Von Miller
Miller's healthy.
Yeah,
so one guy I do understand, but like there's good players on that defense. Like they can get around the ball. And then there's lots of anytime TD scores that are nice. And Melvin Gordon at 1.83 seems like a pretty nice bet. And Judy at 2.87 seems very nice too.
So we'll just add this in here real quick. So the anytime TD, which one would you say?
I'm not going to pick one because I don't want to fuck up my record. I like the Broncos money line, but I'm saying there's value in it if somebody wants.
What's your value? I won't count this against your record, Dorian, but like we'll have a section at the end that we'll do every week. What's your value pick anytime TD? Someone's looking to either parlay it or just get, a bit of a better odd.
Probably Judy, almost at 3-1. And Rippon was looking at him last week a few times. And I think he might prime time tonight. He wants to get one so his mom and dad can watch at home.
I like that, and I'm gonna take one from the game tonight. I think Father Time has been extremely blessed to this man, and so I'm gonna take a Frank Gore anytime TD, and that's gonna pay me 2.37.
Nice, yeah.
So I think he's gonna get
2 on a guy that's looking at heavy targets. Is Crowder a go tonight?
I believe he is, yeah.
That might be good. I didn't even look at the odds on that. Crowder might be good because if they're down or they're late, and they're one of those just like fourth quarter garbage TDs where the defense
275, Dorian.
Yeah, good value. I mean, I'll let you guys pick because it's kind of like rolling the dice in that game, and there's not much strategy to it in terms of, I can't go into depth with touchdown scores as I can with like the game. Like Jets got a bad D. They have no film on this Rippon kid. He's a good fucking college quarterback. And he looked great last week coming into the game. So,
yeah. I think that's good. Let's boys and girls, let's get your money out there. Dorian has been on fire lately, so I would definitely suggest joining him on the Broncos money line tonight.
Really, I should go back and track my percentage because I.
You know what? Send me your stats. Let the bearded bean counter do his thing, and I'll come up with some percentages for you next week for our fans. All right, let's switch over. This is my favorite. I would say this is tied for favorite with the grade the grab, but the week 4 preview. This is where we really get to touch on each match. It looks like we've got about 15 minutes left, so we've got some time. The first match, I'll start it. Dorian versus Craig.
I'll let you speak on that.
Well, yeah, I thank you. So what we're looking at here is a super hungry Craig. He's 0-3 currently. Dorian, you're 2-1. The projections, and it looks true. The projections have you up by 3.5 points. And I'm just going to say right now that he definitely does have some juicy matchups. Mm-hmm. But what we would need to see for him to really beat you is for guys like Fitz to really go off. Mixon would need to turn it around. We've got guys like Watkins that are target dependent. Landry, I haven't seen him play this year. Keelan Cole, Jimmy Graham, Kenyon. I mean, he's got the biggest 2 dumpster fires for running backs this year in Joe Mixon and Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
So how do you lose? In my opinion, these guys regress back to the mean, which is them doing something. But if the tradition for this season continues, I see you. I don't see him breaking 100 points. So now on the flip side. On the flip side, Dorian, just to be fair and play devil's advocate here, you're looking at an iffy Julio, you're looking at an iffy Odell, and you're looking at an iffy Jared Cook. Those things could all solve themselves. But if Devontae Adams comes back, I don't know if you're going to get that same production out of Lazard, and I can see a Jerry Jeudy sliding in there nicely.
Well, Judy's got to go tonight, so I either got to move Judy over tonight Or
I would. I mean, honestly, he's the WR1.
I'm gonna read more on how Adams is doing.
Mm-hmm. He practiced today, and I think he's going to go, man. It's a very minor hamstring. So
I also have Lazard in at my flex, and I have some other flex options. Rex Burkhead could get a TD. He's not bad in there. Malcolm Brown could go into my flex, although he's kind of giving me two stinker weeks after he got
Henderson's
that broken
backfield.
pinky.
Yeah, it's Henderson's backfield right now.
I mean, I watched the game, and Brown got some touches. He just, it wasn't. Anyways,
I'm gonna go ahead right now and give you the W,
Okay.
and that's not bias. I mean, it is. I think it'll be close. I think it's going to be a handful of points that separates you guys, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers
is going to go nuclear. He's
exactly, man. That's what
exactly.
You took the words out of my mouth.
It's prime
You took
time.
the words out of my mouth, man. Honestly,
and that's honestly, even if Lazard slotted in the 2, I think Rodgers could throw for 5. My bold prediction is Rodgers throws for 5 TDs and 400 yards, and Lazard's likely to get one of those 5.
Lazard was living with Rodgers for a bit. Like Rodgers took him under his wing.
I saw them on the sideline, and Rodgers was brushing his face with a towel and like giving him butterfly kisses, and I was like, "These more chemistry than I've seen Rodgers have." Rodgers normally just looks like the fucking Grinch over there, Baja.
Yeah.
Coaches.
Oh yeah.
He actually went over and was brushing Lazard's face with a towel, and they're giggling and shit. I'm like, this connection I like.
He rents his basement to him, man.
Even if fucking Adams is back, that's a good thing. Lazard had to go against fucking top D's last week, and he blew the roof off twice for 140 yards and a TD. So,
if you believe that Packers offense can sustain what it's been doing, and I do think so, obviously I'm biased. MVS is proven to be a drop fire. Like he literally just drops touchdowns on the regular. So I don't think he's going to be much anymore. I think Lazard is a solid play for you. So I'm going to give you that W.
all right.
The next match we can tee up here, and I'll defer to you. But the next match is the undefeated Batman and Dobbin, Silva and Nielsen, against a very powerful Loudon squad, fresh off a loss.
Fresh off a loss. Loudon looking at a 1-2 record. That's not where he's used to being. But you know what? Let me take a look here quick. You know what? Even though they have Loudon winning by a small margin, I think this is Silva's week again. And Nielsen. Silva and Nielsen.
It's hard. It's really hard for me to go against a team that has Mahomes and Kelsey.
And they don't even have a receiver started in their WR3 yet. So that will change.
Yeah, they've got plenty of guys there that they could slot up there.
Kelsey, Mahomes, and they're playing New England. Should be a great game. That could be a lot of points. Prescott's playing Cleveland. Yeah, honestly, I'm not going to run through it all, but I like Silva and Nielsen staying undefeated this week. And Loudon's kind of had some boomer bust players, and they all need to get firing if he's going to have a chance in this one.
And I'm with you. I'm going to give I think that the dynamic duo continues their winning ways. The surprising streak continues. So,
yeah.
All right, the next one up is the 2018 KFFL champion, Chad the Bad Guy, and he's taking on my brother, Cody Wilson, who is undefeated currently.
2-1 and a 3-0. Yeah, this is, you know what? Russ Wilson at Miami.
Boy.
Russ,
what did Josh Allen do them on week 1? Like, it's like anyone that plays Miami is just nuclear.
One thing I don't like is he's got Gaskin starting right now, and I don't see Gaskin getting much running. I think
he doesn't have a choice. Like, his running backs are so decimated right now.
Freeman's playing, is he not?
Yeah, and there's gonna be a week, I think, where we see that the New York Giants backfield switch. Right now, you've got sort of a 3-headed because Freeman's he's probably consuming the playbook right now. But you're looking at a very solid back pass protection wise. Freeman's going to be the best. He's a known receiver out of the backfield. I think it's just a matter of him being exposed to more base formation so that they can get him on the field.
Fournette doesn't look like a go this week either. So Cody's probably going to have to slot in a Kerryon Johnson or a Bart Scott or a.
This is what I mean. The lack of depth for Cody, and I'm not trying to chirp him at all. He's 3-0 and he deserves all the pats on the back that he gets. But when you've got a lack of depth that can really run, okay, so let's just say Fournette's out and Lindsay's not going to go. I mean, are you going to run with Bart Scott or Kerryon Johnson?
I personally do not. No, I don't know what I do there. I guess you have to. What the fuck? I guess you have to go with Kerryon and hope he gets a touch, although Detroit's look fucking dismal. Terrible. And
DeAndre Swift is there, AP.
Yeah.
I mean,
AP, he's been running it. I don't even know. Cody, that's on you to figure out. I'm going with Chad to win this one.
I don't want to.
Even though I just said I can't hate on Cody.
It's not a hate. It's like I'm not hating on him either.
Good. Yeah, they're good.
Chad's team is good, man. Honestly, last week I put up 150, and Chad just kept coming. I think he finished at like 136. Like
Russ drops fucking 50 burgers every week. I mean, Allen's
insane.
So that's going to be neutralized for Cody, I think, at least. He's not going to have that Allen effect.
Exactly.
Neutralized. So it's
exactly.
Depth, and I think Chad's got way more depth. I mean, I would rather Myles Gaskin, which I think might be Chad's worst fucking running back start.
It is.
Versus pretty much Bart Scott or Kerryon Johnson so he's Gaskin was a waiver wire pickup, so
I know. I like
good
that.
Luck, Cody, find it. Hey, Cody, if you watch this tonight, it won't be published in time. I'm gonna call you, Cody. There could be a deal done because I like that Judy idea, and but I mean, I don't even know what I need. I think I need a running back. Maybe I'll ship Cody like a David Johnson, Jerry Judy deal, or maybe
I like that.
Nick Chubb, maybe some picks to spice it up.
Ooh, my boy, Nicky Chubb.
Although I almost have to move OBJ because I don't want Chubb and OBJ. Anyway,
listen, no one exactly. Next game up, the fresh off a loss rookie Jake against Powell, who's looking strong all of a sudden.
Fresh Prince. Is Jake still 3-0?
No.
He's 2-1. Jakey, welcome to fucking back.
Sylvan Nielsen put him down last week. Took down Goliath.
Yeah, right.
Now it's just like Lamar Jackson. Jake's got to learn how to play after a loss.
You know what? Kyler Murray hasn't. He looks good when he's running the ball. He's like, okay, he's an elite runner. Him and Jackson there's two guys that run like that. Them two.
Yep.
But he hasn't really been. His whole game isn't just. It's not like exploding. You know, it's not. We haven't seen him put up that Josh Allen 50-point week, 4 touchdowns, 100 rushing yards. He's just kind of
picks. How many picks did he have last week? 2 or 3? Like, I mean, you can't be doing that to your team.
He did have 3 picks. They lost to the Lions.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
he had 3 interceptions. He's got 5 interceptions over 3 games. I think the only thing keeping him relevant is that he's got what's that 100, almost 200 rushing yards over that same span.
Yeah, he put up 28 points week 1. Then he had a nice week, 34 points.
He has 4 rushing touchdowns, and then he's got 4 passing. That's what keeps him in the conversation. So he is a competitor, and I do think that he's going to bounce back against a soft as baby shit Carolina Panthers defense.
But when are we going to see that big boy burger? Anyways,
Powell's got Big Ben, man. I mean, I don't know.
I'm still going to give this week to Jake because Powell looks all kinds. Ben's not even playing. This week.
Ben's not even playing with that Tennessee. Right.
And he's got no one.
So he's going to go to. So he's going to go Kittle. Kittle's back. He's going to go Tom Brady, and then he's going to go probably Benny Snell.
No,
or DeAndre Swift. Sorry, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Yeah. Let's go, Jake. Jake's got that W wrapped up, I think.
I thought I missed him in the draft. I was like, I dodged that bullet. But fucking Cam Akers gets a broken rib week 1.
I know. The rookie bug, man.
Fuck. Anyways, I am going to go Jake for a big W this week.
Same.
Sorry, Powell. That's for the Burrow comment. And
sorry, bro.
Roethlisberger and Connor not playing.
Ooh, Dorian, I'm going to plug something here. I did it on the Facebook chat, but Powell, you said you need a running back. I got the Melvin Gordon replacement in the LA Chargers franchise and Joshua Kelly. Come at me, man. Honestly, I mean, I'm not greedy. We can work something out, but this guy's going to leave us 23 carries on my bench when he could be giving them to your starters.
That's true.
Leave that how it is.
Fun fact about Powell's team, he actually has Blankenshits as his kicker.
I just saw that.
Oh, fuck. Good for him.
We didn't choreograph that either. We both just did that at the same time.
Hi-ho Silver, away! All right. Who's up next? I need you.
Rosie and Reynolds. So
Friendships.
Reynolds, you better get your shit together, man. Honestly,
All
that
right.
finals appearance is becoming a distant.
Last
distant
warning
object.
about your fucking name. Change it. Luck hasn't
Change
even
it,
been in the
man.
league in fucking 3 years.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I mean, you got the booty
You got a
scooting
picture-
Cam Newton.
You got a picture of Luck. Let's move on. I could find one right here. Newton. Okay, Ingram.
Booty scooting Cam Newton. Why wouldn't you put that booty scooting, man? There's a little song about it and everything.
How about Instagram? Like a Ingram. No? Okay.
Man. I mean,
Evans.
I did it for the Ingram,
I like that. Yeah.
right? Let's see it, man.
Pouring from the Evans, like raindrops, ball catches, all
Come
kinds
on,
of
man. There's all sorts.
Hunt, that's a good one. The hunt for Red October.
The hunt for the W October. Like, who knows, man? We got so many here.
Oh, you got Peyton Barber, Barbershop, Slayton.
I mean, let's be honest here. This match could go either way. We've got some uncertainty with Hunt and Carson. I think Carson might be back, but he got his leg ripped off. T. Higgins, Anthony Miller, DK Metcalf versus Thielen, Evans, Cooks. I don't know how this is going to go. I think the NFL has it within 3 points. I mean, Reynolds, you're not even projected to break 100 points, man. I just expect so much more from you meeting me in the finals last year.
I do expect more than that. I'm going to go ahead and give it to our boy, Rosie.
I
don't want
am
Rosie
too.
to lose because, you know what? I'm going to call him out again. Rosie, you piece of fucking shit. So when I go to trade with the guy, I have to fucking talk him into taking Metcalf. He's sitting there, I don't know, man, like typing on his computer, looking at I don't know much about. I'm like, he's gonna be a fucking beast. Just trust me. I want to get a deal done. I just want to shake something up. I know I want to go after Lockett. I can't have Metcalf and Lockett. I'm obviously going after Thomas. He's not gonna fucking move Thomas. I was actually gonna stack Thomas and Breeze. But I was like, no, I got Rodgers. Fuck it. So I give him Metcalf for OBJ, and I throw in Breeze. You can drop him. You can keep him. You can do what you want. I had to talk him into taking Metcalf. Go to him for trades last night, and he's like laughing in my face. I'm like, the only fucking bright spot on your team is a guy I had to talk you into taking, and then he basically blatantly disrespects me. I was like, hey, you're 0-3. Do you want to talk chats or trades yet? And he just laughed at me and said bye, basically. So
well, he's I'll be honest, man, after that trade dropped, so we can kind of segue off my match here. You tell me between me and Valdez, take a quick peek. Who do you think? And then we can shift to the trade reviews. But
let me look at Metcalf first. 15.5 week 1, 15.2 week 2, and 18 points in week 3 versus Atlanta, New England, and Dallas. So
what I was going to say, Dorian, is that after that trade, a lot of guys that wanted Henry that didn't get Henry, I think they were butthurt, and I think so. You were feeling some of that repercussions. People just pissed that I got what I tried to get and they didn't, and so then you're trying to jump in. And do your thing. And
I'm talking about Rosie. What, Rosie?
I know.
Henry?
Yes.
Oh,
no, there were about 5 other people in this race with me, man.
I was in there.
I know you were.
I just said like, okay, here's a player I'd be willing to put up with some picks. Do you want to talk? And the next thing I know, a trade's getting fucking posted. Anyways, I got Adam going to win this week unless Reynolds A, changes his name, and B, makes some sort of move that improves his roster this week. You know what?
Just be alive, man.
Many times people think a trade needs to be this big fucking magnificent, like 4-piece
it's nice.
deal. It is beautiful. And we do the little trades for those big trades.
That's right.
Sometimes you can just get a deal done. If a guy...
You and I, man. Rodgers last year.
And another receiver... And really, at the end of the year, they're going to be within 12 to 15 points of each other. But that receiver can help you win this week.
This week. That's exactly
and you make
it.
a fucking trade. I respect that because you got a great matchup or there's an injury issue, and you can plug it like a Lazard. If someone came to me last week and said like, "Oh man, I want to get this Lazard guy off you," I'm like, I kind of like the stack, but okay, you offer me a good pick, let's say a 2 or 3, and he drops a fucking 30 burger on Sunday night primetime, and someone wins their week because of that. That's a whole fucking week 1, bang. But nobody does those deals. It's got to it's going to be good for me 6 years from now and this and that. It's like it doesn't always
hindsight, man. A lot of guys are afraid to take the risks, and so with Reynolds, it's just he's got to be able to take those risks. And you know what? He's a savvy GM, so we will see a trade. I know we will.
Yes, but they don't all have to be blockies. They don't all have to be 5 draft picks for a top end running back. Go get a guy who's going to do well this week, Reynolds. And plug them into your fucking roster somewhere.
You need some running back help, man. You need some running back help for sure.
Ingram, he's just been trash. Carson's been playing way over what he should be, in my opinion. But Seattle's been lights out.
They didn't just go and sign Carlos Hyde for no reason, bro.
That's true. And Thielen looks a little overshadowed by Jefferson.
Dude, he's toast. He's hit that 31-year-old age here. I mean,
black don't crack and white don't fight. Moving on. Rosie with a double.
So before we get to the final segment, which we're going to trade review, I want you to just give me your verdict on my match.
You got to go over King Koopa and yourself. Oh, yeah. What do you think? King Koopa. I don't get the name.
I'm Super Camario.
Oh, so he's just playing off your name. I thought
That's
he
right.
might have had like Koopa Cup or something, and that would have been really good. But
he wanted to make it like the final showdown. Yeah.
Ed used to do this, where every week he'd have like a rival name. But I think
him and I had like we had the Boardwalk Empire. I was Jimmy Graham Ledee, and he was like Tucky Thompson or whatever it was.
I was Tucky.
Or you were?
I was Tucky Thompson, and then
that's right.
He was yeah. Well, I got some news for Valdez about King Koopa. He never fucking wins, and Mario always gets the pussy. Mario literally always gets the pussy.
That's
right.
He
goes in, he takes Princess out of the fucking tower, and he fillets her. So
he does what he wants, with her consent, obviously.
Well, not that much consent.
Consented. So what do you say on this match, Dorian? Camario versus Koopa.
Let me take a look here. Okay.
I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the Tennessee Pittsburgh, the defense, Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith. So I've been fortunate. I've got depth, but
okay.
NFL duck.
Absolute fucking beast. If Adams back versus Atlanta, that's going to be issues for him. You know what? Ryan, I think, is going to have a massive fucking night. Because I see them being down and throwing.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate Eckler. He's not really doing it for me. Allen, Gallup, Ayuk. Okay. Here's what I think. I think you are going to take the lead. Yep. Lamar Jackson plays Sunday at 1. Yeah. You're going to have the lead from the first game, and I don't think you'll lose it. That's my bold prediction. You're not he's never going to be in the lead.
I'm biased, right? But I look at it and I go, "You're not getting my best effort, Valdez, but I'm gonna fight valiantly." So,
that Monday nighter is gonna be scary for you. You have to wait all the way till prime time, and I think Ryan drops fucking 30, 40, 50 points. This is a good opportunity, Dorian. After you call my win there, anyone out there dealing with the Tennessee Pittsburgh benching, like that game's not happening? I had 3. I had the defense. Jonnu Smith and then Derrick Henry. So what have I pivoted to? I've picked up Chicago Bears defense. They've averaged 6 points. I went for a floor pick. I think a floor choice. So I'll take a floor of 6 points from my defense. Tight end, I've got a few in there. I'm not going to give it away, but there's a few prime tight end candidates out there to stream. I think you should go Josh Kelly in your flex instead of Fuller.
I might be moving Josh Kelly, but Josh Kelly against Tampa Bay, he had a fumble. He's at a solid floor. The projected points of 5 are his floor without the fumble. So either way, I'm going to be putting someone into my tight end that's going to get me about 5 to 6 points. That's going to put me at a projected 120. So I appreciate you choosing me for the win because I truly feel it will be a challenge. with those players missing. So
Valdez, I'm going to tell you this too. Your Odell Beckham Jr. out of the injury report as of Thursday. Okay, good. Henderson's days are numbered, though. You might want to just move on from that because
he won't. He just dropped Jordan Howard. He's like my old school self when I had Steven Jackson. He'll just ride them into the dirt.
Well, he's going to have to because that's not going to be Henderson's backfield for long. And I think he's just got him slotted in the flex for like an easy 15 points, and I don't see it happen. I actually like McKinnon better.
Well, McKinnon's coming off an injury and most may be back. So we'll see how that goes. But so we've only got a couple minutes left. So I want to definitely do this piece. This is something that a lot of people are probably, especially in the league, are going to be looking forward to. So each week we're going to review the trades, and in the KFFL, there's always action to talk about. So between last week's episode and this week's episode, Jake acquired Christian McCaffrey from Cody Powell. And that was in exchange for Miles Sanders, Tyler Boyd, rounds 1, 2, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm. I have said this before. We actually talked about it before. I don't see Christian McCaffrey finishing as a top back this year. And not just because
we agreed on that.
Obviously, I think Carolina's in a lot of trouble.
Same. Agreed, man.
I don't think he's going to come rush back from any injury. And even if he does, I don't think their game scripts are going to be run heavy anyways. Mm-hmm. And then, you're looking at like a CMC for next year. So I think Powell could do a lot with Miles, who's certainly capable. Boyd, who's capable, and a 1, 2, 2, 3 in the meantime to get him a lot more production now and make him better. Jake was already kind of rolling and flying high with big point totals, so he was like, whatever, these guys. So I could see where both are coming from, but I don't like CMC. And I told Jake that. He asked me if I liked it, and I was like, no. And he's like, oh.
And Jake lost after this trade.
He did. Yeah, he did. And he said I was the only one who didn't like the trade. So he said I was pretty much stupid. But that's just how I feel about it because, like I said, Mike Davis went out and put up 25 points.
I know.
How much did Davis cost? He cost nothing but a fucking waiver pickup. And Jake gave away
Let me check.
1, 2, 2, 3 and Miles
Boyd. Cost
Boyd
nothing
for the same production. So that's value. Davis is value. And CMC is
So what's the verdict? What do you say? Who won that trade?
I think Powell wins that trade and becomes a lower seeded playoff team this year because of it.
Wow. So you're saying before the trade, Powell doesn't even make the playoffs with CMC.
He can't.
And now,
so
the
CMC
depth
was hurt. It was like, okay, I need CMC to blow up every week. Now CMC's hurt, and he started off 0-2, and then he fucking puts up a win after he gets rid of him and has some depth. He gets a Philly boy. He was a Philly fan.
That was a big piece, I believe, yeah.
And Boyd. Yeah. And Powell, Alshon Jeffrey, he's getting ready to come back. So let me know. I got to move a receiver here.
Plug.
Traquan, 9 for – is that Kerryon Johnson 11?
Yeah.
Who cares? There's the really.
Yep. A plug.
I actually watched fucking Cody pick up Traquan at his house last week. We were sitting on the couch, and I watched him pick up Traquan. Nothing, and he shipped him out. Like it seems like the next day or the next 2 days, and Traquan actually had a good game that night. 86
yards.
Yeah, he had a good game, and then he trades him, and I just don't understand.
Those types of trades are the ones that they might end up paying off in the future. I don't see the reason, but maybe he has one, and we just don't know.
I don't see it because Kerryon would be the guy
either.
until Swift was ready. But now he's kind of the guy until Swift is ready, and Kerryon's in this like weird middle position, and Detroit's game scripts look fucked all year, to be honest.
I think my brother was maybe just looking for some sort of a hedge, or some sort of a protection in the back end with KJ.
I mean, it's not a lose, but
it's nothing to me.
Who sent them KJ? Valdez?
No, Sylvan Nielsen.
Oh, Sylvan Nielsen?
Yeah.
So what did they get out of it?
I mean Traquan's an MT. You get out of the 11th for one, right? And that's
they win because of that because they're really
100%. They win this trade, no questions asked. They get Traquan, who's usable in MT's absence, and you get out of the 11. It's my goal every year to not pick in the last 3 rounds, and they've already got out of 1 round. So I mean,
maybe we should bookmark that and ask Cody when we have him as a guest speaker or where.
Absolutely.
Because what I see, if he picked him up waiver wire and he got a slight upgrade, like if it was Traquan 11 for KJ 9, I'd be like, oh, fuck. great. But like, you pick up a guy for nothing, he does well, and then you get rid of him, but you're still paying for another guy that's in a shittier position.
That's what I don't understand. But like I said, I'm not going to judge it yet because these are the types of deals that maybe he saw something, maybe
I
he
had
knows
high
something.
hopes for Carry On. I loved Carry On.
He was the my guy for Jason Moore last year, man. So he was definitely a guy. But
anyways.
I'm going to give that win to the dynamic duo.
Yeah, it's a slight edge, I think. So
and
then your trade.
Yeah, so let's get to this. I want to break this down so everybody can understand how this went. So most people think that I won the trade. And before we get any verdicts, I want you guys to understand how this went. So Valdez and I have done one trade before, and it was the Kamara trade 2 years ago. So it was the season that I was second last. I was shit. Mm-hmm. That trade, I had to stay on Valdez every single day for 6 straight weeks. There might have been a couple days sprinkled off, but I had an alarm set on my phone. This was completely different. I'm not capable of doing that any longer. I have so many commitments at this point. So he announces, I don't know, when was it, Dorian? Sunday night, Monday, something like that?
Yeah.
That he wanted to sell Derrick Henry. And so I have all my picks. I have James Robinson. And I actually am, I'm going to be honest, this is honest. I was thinking about not doing an offer. And I was like, no, you know what? Even though I love James Robinson and he's a perfect flex player for me, I got for free. I'm going to just throw my hat in the ring. So I threw my hat in the ring. I said, Hayden Hurst, James Robinson, 1 through 5, rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your last 5, and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything back. I'm hearing chatter. I'm hearing that there's multiple other offers. And knowing Valdez, I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time chasing him down. I'll let it go. If I don't win, I don't win. And I'm going to share this to the KFFL the KFFL chat. He sends me a message yesterday, probably around lunch, and he goes, does that offer still stand? I didn't know if he was going to do the trade. I didn't know. And I go, yeah, of course it does. And just to solidify that, I sent it. Mm-hmm. I was in bed. I was sleeping last night. I was just about sleeping. I had put the Bourne ultimatum on. And just as Matt Damon is doing some crazy shit to Pamela Landy's ghost, I'm getting an accepted trade and my phone is blowing up because he accepted the deal. So I'll let you, that's how it came to be, Dorian.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a few parts to this. I mean, I think there's tremendous value in Robinson. I
do too.
He's
put up more points than Henry.
They move out a bell cow, and then they give this guy those touches.
All of them.
So in my head, I'm like, you got this guy for nothing, and it goes right back to the Christian McCaffrey thing. It's like, you've just found a fucking little golden nugget, but now you have to pay that plus other picks to go get Henry. And you and I have been talking about Henry when watching the game, and like, some of it's positive, but some of it's like, meh.
I think he's overrated. I do.
So that surprised me you went after him as hard as you did.
I didn't go after him hard. That's the thing. It was more so just
pretty fucking heavy offer. I think my last offer I had sent was like OBJ and like a
Well, let's get it out here. Do you think I overpaid?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do.
Because there's chatter on the other side that says I trade Rizaped him.
Really? Well, those people are stupid because they don't know. They don't know because I mean, there's too much value in this league now. That
I know, man.
I don't think you lost the trade because you kind of got the best player. And I think you got the best player. One, I say best player kind of, okay, Henry's going to be the guy. He's going to get goal line touches. And he's got the name brand behind him. So if you need to resell him, you're probably going to get close to what you paid, which is kind of like a CMC thing. Jake will probably get that because of the name. But you already found the guy in Robinson. I was like, what the fuck? Like, AJ finds this for free. You could have made a different move, I think, with just picks and brought in something different. But I'm not going to question you because you know what you're doing. The other thing is Henry has a 20-something point night last week, and then he comes on the block out of nowhere. And Valdez, who's married to his players beyond all players, what does he, A, know, or B, think is going to happen with Henry? I'd love to hear that side of the coin.
I think, Dorian, I have an opinion on that, and I'll share it with you quickly. I think that when CMC moved, and that was a pretty big haul, the hauls that he got in that CMC pulled, they're pretty comparable. I think he got hot and horny for that type of return, and you see a guy like Derrick Henry. The reason I made the trade, Dorian, is because there is still an unknown variable with Jacksonville in that Reichwell Armstead is going to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
There's a small sample size in terms of what JR has done.
Sure.
He's not an impressive runner, but I love the way he runs. He's not fast. He's Fred Taylor-esque, if you will.
Yeah.
But the Derrick Henry is unquestionable. He's getting the most carries. He's gonna. There's no one else there.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and so I didn't necessarily feel great about the trade because I did feel like I was paying market value for Derrick Henry, and I did not want to move James Robinson. I was so proud of myself on that pick.
Yeah, which is kind of like you. That's your thing. You go.
That is my thing.
You get your little hat on and your little hobo stick on your shoulder. You go to the dump. You dig and you find little gems, and that's your claim to fame.
It is,
and
Dorian.
You're always criticizing me for going after the highly Le'Veon Bells and overpaying out my fucking ass because I like to be the guy that has the big shiny toy that everyone
You
wants.
are.
And you're the fucking you little digger. So this surprised me from you a little bit.
I'm in the title defense, man.
You are, and now you have easily the three best running backs.
Thank you.
Not the three best, but your running back core dominates everyone else's. I can't even. I need to make a fucking deal for a top tier running back, and you've got three of them. And I don't see us dealing because you're not going to make me better.
No. I think Lev Bell's a target you should look at. I think that as soon as Adam Gase is fired, Lev Bell's going to pop. Lev Bell's not done.
Yeah.
I think he's done with Adam Gase.
I'm kind of just done with Bell. I just kind of got over it.
Yeah.
I waited on him a long time. I had one good year of production out of him, and then just three shit. So now I've got these kind of Melvin Gordons and these David Johnsons that are putting up solid numbers, but are they going to be the win the leaguer guys? I don't think so. So all in all, I don't even know how to rate this. I think Valdez got a fucking massive haul for a great player, and I think he can do a lot with those picks. And years. But I think you just fucking slotted up your your RB1-2 and your flex pretty much for the rest of the year, as long as he doesn't get COVID.
Yeah.
So, I don't really even know how to mark the deal. I mean, it's really all on perspective. What side of the deal do I want to be on? I probably want to be on the Valdez side of it because I like being able to shop. Now he's got 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5.
Dorian, listen, man. Honestly,
his RB1, and that's fun for me because now you get to get creative.
Yep. Listen, man. Honestly, dude, I everything you're saying, there was that little voice in the back of my head, and it was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this?"
Yeah.
And it just kept coming back to that red Corvette outside or that powder blue Corvette. And all that horsepower, and I was like, I got this dumpy old wheelbarrow that's got some nitrous oxide loaded into it, or I could go get that.
The thing is, you're a guy that can you could ship a player the next day and have all your picks back plus something you can, and you're willing to do it. Some guys go to a team, and I'm like, fuck, that guy will never leave that team. And when you go do a deal, I'm like, you know what? Maybe he uses Henry. Maybe he gets bored of him. Maybe Kamara's out next week. Maybe AJ wants to restock the pond because he heard someone's getting shopped over here and he needs picks to do it. So that's exciting. So, I mean, at least it's you.
You just segued me to my closing on this, Dorian. So I promised at the beginning of the podcast I would talk about my keeper strategy. So last year I kept Lamar Jackson, and then I dropped Aaron Jones. I moved on from him. I moved him for a couple picks. I am not going to do that this year. I'm letting the league know right now, Lamar Jackson, come the end of the season, will be available to the highest bidder. Regardless of how he finishes the season, I am keeping Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, and Devontae Adams. Lamar Jackson will be traded.
Wow. Are we ready to talk Julio for Adams yet?
No.
All right. The last trade was my trade on.
And so your trade was before we started this piece, Dorian, and I just wanted to. I really needed to bring this up because I think that as of right now, I know again, I don't say shit just to say shit, and these new listeners might just think I'm pumping your tires. So you moved Marvin Jones and a pick for Lockett and a pick, and I don't even care what the pick was because it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant to me. Tyler Lockett, it's like deja vu every time I'm sitting beside you watching. I'm like, is this week 3? Is this week 2? He's literally Michael Thomas this year. And what I mean by that is super efficient. You'd think that he can't be doing this based on his build. You know, you see MT and you're like, he's not an underneath receiver. He's an outside guy. He's an X guy. He does everything. And that's what Lockett's doing. I think the DK impact is helping him. Mm-hmm. But in terms of what that did, you're on a winning streak now.
Yeah.
And Lockett is a huge, huge part of that.
3 touchdowns last week to beat Loudon.
Listen, man, honestly, I commend you. I think it's the trade of the year so far. I don't think anyone's talking about it, and that's their problem, because at the end of the day, you did what everyone wants to do. You went and got a guy who is massively outperforming the guy that you gave. Period.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it has to be said. I wanted to just put it as we close the show that even with my trade, even with Jake's trade, you currently are holding the trade of the year.
Thanks, man. I think yours looks prettier from a number standpoint, but
of course
it's bigger. But
results speak, man. Results.
And honestly, we tried to go through the list. I said, Jake, I need a receiver because I wasn't happy with OBJ in my 2, and Julio was hurt, and Lazard was kind of meh. Judy's a rookie. I'm like, I need a guy. And so we went through Jake's receiver, and Woods has been lighting it up the first 3 weeks. Ridley's the number 1 receiver after the first 2 weeks going into 3. Yep. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch Woods. I'm not going to touch Ridley. I think he had a running back in his flex at that time, and Lockett was on his bench. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's so much value there. And I was a little scared because I knew Metcalf was going to be good, but I didn't think he'd be this good this fast. I thought he might trickle into it through the year. So getting rid of Metcalf got me scared. I said, I want a piece of fucking Russell Wilson's arm this year. And it just, the stars aligned. I mean, I need him to have a stinker week because, you know, he's just been too good to this point. But, yeah, I was super happy with Lockett. And right now, if you had to say which receiver is going to go first, it would probably be Julio I'd ship out before I'd ship out Lockett at this point.
Plug it. Just before we wrap, anyone that wants Julio Jones.
I'm willing to do a Julio deal with a David Johnson or a Julio or a Judy with a running back. I'm looking for a top talent guy, and I'm willing to shop picks as well. So let me know.
This is your great league, gentlemen and ladies, the KFFL.
All right, I think that wraps it up. I have a couple call-outs here. People who have not paid for the KFFL yet. Rosie paid me last night.
Good.
And who's going to get called out on national television? Let me see here.
Rumble.
Chad, Cody, Valdez, Jake.
Which Cody?
Wilson.
Chad, Cody Wilson, Justin Valdez, Jake Chalmers. Pay that man that monies.
Next week, you'll be threatened by my boy, Corey Loudon, who stops by for the occasional visit with his old pal, Dorian Hartley.
Look at the hair on his face. It's so whispery.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, we're over time as usual. He's dead. This is Diesel and the Beard signing off for episode 6 of Diesel and the Beard.
Thanks for joining us, and looking forward to a great week of action. Like I said, all your fan questions are welcomed, and we'll catch up with you guys next week.
John Gruden out.
Peace.
Welcome to this week's episode of